guys, this is Albi again and welcome back to my channel. In the previous episode, I mentioned about summertime was not really fun for me. So I was really bored. So because of that, I got an idea to put up a school for the children, big and small, around my neighborhood. It was like a summer class and I was their teacher. So please stay tuned and here is my story. I was about 9 or 10 years old at the time, and since my grandmother prohibited me from playing with other children in the neighborhood, I devised a plan to put up a small school for the children. I noticed there was a space in the ground floor of my grandparents' house, good enough to have a class of at least 10 kids. So I was thinking I should look like a teacher. So I took the oversized sandals of my aunt from the storage room and some oversized old clothes from the cabinet. Then I looked at myself in front of the mirror. I turned around and around and I felt I looked like a teacher. So I had that green board, a piece of chalk, board eraser, and a long stick, which I believed I could use to instill discipline and order in the class by striking hard the board or table so they would pay attention, or I could use it to point words or pictures on the board. I provided the children pencil, paper, and crayons. Some days I was teaching them reading short words. Some days I was teaching math and listening to stories, which I made up. Then I gave them quizzes and awards. I was a very strict teacher. Everyone should pay attention and no one should talk unless they were called to answer my questions. The fiesta celebration is on May, and that is summertime in the Philippines. My aunt, who was a high school English teacher, with my sister and cousins, and some teenagers were busy preparing for the night activities and baile, or the sweet dance. I noticed those cute red, blue, and yellow ribbons, similar to the ones the teachers in school would pin on honor students at the end of the school year. The only difference was the size. Ribbons for honor students in school were quite big. These ribbons I found on the table were very cute and amazing, and I got an idea that these ribbons I could give as awesome rewards to my students who performed well in my class. I tiptoed towards the table where the ribbons were nicely arranged and I grabbed all the red ones and I ran downstairs. Later on, I heard a commotion. Someone noticed that all the red ribbons for the baile were gone. They panicked because it was already dusk and the baile was about to start. I could see my aunt's face turned red in anger. They searched in all corners of the house and in the basement, backyard, everywhere, but they could not find the red ribbons because I inserted them in my storybooks. My aunt summoned a young man to run to the Chinese store 3 kilometers away to buy stuff to make red ribbons. The young man ran as fast as he could, for the Chinese store would close at 6 p.m. He came back bathed in sweat and panting. I was wondering why they were so worried about the red ribbons. This was a time I understood the meaning of ribbons in a baile and the value and importance of color coding. You can find this in part 7 of my story, the sweet dance or baile. No one would ever think that it was me who took the red ribbons until one day a mother of one of my students came to our house, and with all gratitude, she thanked my grandmother for having such a wonderful granddaughter. That was me, teaching the children in the neighborhood. And this mother said that she was amazed, for I also pinned red ribbons on children who got good scores in my quizzes. She said, "Your granddaughter is a very good teacher. My son has changed. He likes to read now and he studies very hard." My aunt, my grandparents, my cousins were speechless, and all eyes were on me. I was trembling. I was scared my aunt would beat me to death. Thank you very much, guys, for listening, and hear from me for the next part of the story next time. I will be talking about my students did some gardening as one of their subjects. Bye. Thank you.